So, I mean, after this initial period, I know there was a moment where you finally hired an extra set of hands for 3 days a week. After I think you were handling 17 clients on your own and doing everything. And that hire probably helped you realize indirectly that may actually be the most important activity in the business, not doing certain strategy work and so forth. And I know I've come to personally learn in this business that more than anything, it's a people business. I think 40 to 50% of your overhead is often, staff salaries and the like. So for a refinement geek like yourself, I could see that understanding that and wanting to refine hiring would have been huge for you. So how was that process initially, to drive scale, and then how has it changed to what hiring is like today?
Yeah. So fundamentally, I think if you're selling with our pillowcase company, we're selling pillowcases, our product is a pillowcase, and it has to be something that people love so much that they'll refer to a friend or whatever it is. And it's the same goes with your agency, where you're selling people. And so your product is people. Mm. And if you're going to have amazing product, then you're going to have amazing people. And so there's kind of different stages of the business where there was a key major problem to solve. And so, the first one for most businesses is lead gen, and then sales, and then potentially first hire and operations. But a major issue in scale, particularly in this business, is hiring. And, it changes at different levels of the business, but we've thought a lot about hiring. So we think about how we can be positioned as one of the best places in Australia to work, from culture to, rewards and just kind of growth opportunity, and making a really good place, and then trying to showcase how good our culture is. So that way we can be a magnet for the best talent. We spend a lot on ads as well. We use all different platforms, from LinkedIn, Seek, Pedestrian, university boards, whatever it is. We're now building out our hiring team. Then we actually launched in Sydney and Brisbane. So now we can triple the amount of applications that we can get. We've also launched in the US, and we're running that team remote. So now we've got more people that we can get. The other thing that we're challenged right now is how do we hire at a senior level consistently? And so if we can consistently hire people with 5 years experience that are really good and hit the ground running, that's going to be probably the next biggest thing in terms of our hiring hurdle to get from where we are now and double again. So yeah, hiring's always been something that we've thought a lot about. We've got a very analytical process, and we've had a unique process right from the start. As we've scaled it, we're trying to make it more analytical as well, so that we can be less biased and be more accurate with our hiring.
What makes it unique?
So right from the start, for no apparent reason, I thought it'd be cool that everyone that gets a job here has to do some level of a challenge. I remember actually hiring someone back in the day, and the person didn't accept the job. This was when I was really early. And I was thinking a few things. One is this person didn't get a sense of what we were doing and our mission and what we stand for. And we almost made it too easy for them, where we just said here's the job, because it was my second employee. And it was there was no level of us qualifying this person properly and us doing our due diligence and explaining our mission, and them having the chance to kind of express their attitude and their skill set. So we built in a challenge, and the challenge is different depending on the role. But if you're an account manager, then you might have to create an ad and a campaign and, a few A/B split tests based on, a client of your choosing. And the range that we get in terms of different applications, we get some people that just go, yeah, I can do this, and put it together in 1 hour. We get other people that do this 9-page detailed analysis, where they do a review analysis and a sentiment analysis. And then they look at the ad library of every ad, and they use a bunch of different tools. It's if that person is so more likely to come in and bring in an amazing attitude to the role. And a lot of our top hires, and even just having them as a talking point in our final round interview to talk through the thought process, even if they aren't tactically good, because we're not necessarily hiring for the skill set, but do they have a really intelligent line of thought and how they've thought about that challenge? So that's always made our hiring process, I think, more accurate. And then recently we've added in different aptitude testing as well. And so there's different, whether it's a logical test or a numerical test or a verbal reasoning test, and we can see a correlation between the aptitude testing and performance as well. And now we're trying to put together a framework. And we've also got a framework on personality testing as well, where we can be a little bit more analytical and say, hey, we didn't actually think that this person was a 10 out of 10, but they scored really good on these tests. So let's give them a chance. And those people have been really good. When you're not sure or you're on the fence, the test can be a really good decider. And there's definitely been a strong correlation for us.
And those personality tests are like sort of big 5 personality type tests, right?
Yeah, we're using testcandidates.com for no apparent reason. I looked at like 4 or 5 platforms and that was the one that I chose.
That was the one. And the challenge you mentioned before, is that something that you get them to do during the recruitment process or when they first start and they get to
recruitment process
account?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I could see how it would have been the thing that really scaled the business. I wonder as well, because this is something I've had to go through as an outsider to the industry, is adjusting different levers for efficiencies in the business that allow you to scale better, like profitably, as opposed to just scaling for scaling's sakes. Because, we're in a business where it's all about cash flow, and essentially you have to have the cash to put towards that individual who may not have, it takes a month to maybe 3 at least to see some results from that person. So I do wonder, one of the things we've had internally is billing efficiency. It's something that I never really considered as an outsider, but, my co-founder and wife is like, this is standard in the industry. It doesn't have to be as intense as, say, the consulting firms, but that has been a big lever for us in terms of also working out what is often a waste of time in the long term in the business, things that just didn't have a real impact over a couple of months. So was there anything like that you felt were also major levers in the business?
So for that, we had a rough hourly rate that we were shooting towards, and we made sure that there was some, if we wanted to work overtime on those hourly rate, that we could make it affordable. But there was also a relatively just decent analysis on the services that were most useful for the clients and the services that were most profitable for us. So like a lot of clients said, hey, we want help with our social media content, which was a big thing back in the day. And I was just like, just get an intern, get a uni student to do that for $25 an hour. We'll have a call with them once a month and help them out. But you don't want to pay us $120 an hour to do your content. Pay us $120 an hour to do your ads and your strategy and your funnel strategy and your CRO, like the stuff that's going to move the needle for you. And the good thing is then they don't look at the bill that's getting bigger and bigger and go, oh, we could actually just get someone else to do that. And so we kind of goes, what are the highest expertise we can provide for this client? And the things that are lower expertise, how can we help them build that internally? So we're more affordable and our time is more profitable for us as well, because it's the most difficult stuff to kind of hand over as well. So that was kind of our strategy from the start.